What's up? Morning, YouTube. Today is Saturday morning. Plan to take Bumblebee out on a new trail today. I forgot that a maintenance light came on, so I'm gonna do a quick maintenance on it. I got the tires off. I got it jacked up. I got all the wheels off. I got it jacked up. So I'll start with, I already checked this brake caliper right here. You probably can't see it. So the brake calipers are still good. These are wear down pretty quick, especially if you use too much, you apply too much on brakes. It burns it down real quick. So what I'll do, I'll check all of them. You got 2 in the front, 1 in the back. And I'm gonna lube all the grease points throughout the front, the back, the top and the bottom. I'm gonna lube all the grease points. I'll check the oil and leave it outside, let it run for a few, so that way everything will be good to go. All right, so I just started lubing, but the grease tube that I had in here, my little grease gun, it was done, so I have to replace it. So I had these from, I got these from when I was in Alaska. It hadn't lasted this long. This is a Ski-Doo Can-Am vehicle suspension grease. So what I'm doing, I'm gonna just pop this top off, take this cap off, I slide it down in here. Let me set this. I slide it down in here. I have to pull this back so the canister could slide all the way down. And I'll put the top back in and start greasing. Okay, so I just got done greasing this side. This is one grease point here. Got another one here. It's pretty much just the lower A-arm, this piece right here. So both sides of this will get greased. And then the upper A-arm, so both sides of this will get greased, this side and this side. But the way how the grease fittings are pointing, I could only do some on this side. So in order to do the others, I'll have to go on the other side to get to the grease fitting. So I got this one done. I got this one done because the grease fitting is pointing toward me. This grease fitting is right here, but it's pointing that way. So I have to go from that side and stick the nozzle from that side in so it can attach. So what I did, I greased that side over there, and I also greased the other side for this one that's over there, because the grease fitting was pointing toward me, so it's easier for me to get it. All right, so that's it for this side greasing. I'll just go ahead and check the shock absorber, make sure the spring ain't broken. You have this little rubber piece here that floats around. It's like a little bumper. Make sure the bolts ain't loose, top and bottom. I want to check my upper ball joint, and it should have a lower ball joint right here. Make sure it ain't torn anywhere, and it don't have any grease leaking out of it. All right. This cover right here, this what is my screwdriver? Okay, so behind this cover is a big nut that holds the half shaft. It holds it in, so the half shaft connects into this hub. It bolts in with a cotter pin, and then it goes into the differential. That's this piece right here. All right, then you got your coolant radiator. Then you got your fan. Make sure my fan blades move freely. No leaks coming from the radiator side, no leaks on the whole vehicle. But if it is, you want to check your clamps, all your clamps and stuff. This is the housing for the headlight. Right here. It's easy to get the bulb out and replace it if need be. The headlights are broken because rocks and stuff keep flying up and cracking it. So this whole assembly that comes with the bulb also is about $100. Just one headlight assembly, $100. So that bad boy gonna stay broken for a hot minute. All right, let me see what else we got. We already checked the brake pads. The brake caliper ain't leaking. We checked the brake pads, they're still good. We got all the lug nuts. When I get done with the whole inspection, the last thing I'll do is inspect the tire, make sure we don't have any nails or wood in there, check the tire pressure, and then remount it back up. All right, so now I'm gonna go to the back right. All right, so we're on the back left side of the ATV. This side have one grease point here, right there. You have another one right here, and another one right here. All right, so that's all the grease points for this assembly right here. And then for the prop shaft, they have a grease point right in here where the U-joint is. It's one grease fitting in there. Now you see how I got it. It looked like grease all over the place. So how I learned it, I'm a mechanic in the military, so how I learned it is that you want to out with the old, in with the new. Normally for the bigger vehicles, it'll take more pumps to get all the old grease out. So but this, since it's so small, 2 pumps and you'll already start seeing the grease come out from the sides. All right, so that's what I do, out with the old, in with the new, for this type of grease fittings and spots, these grease spots. Now if you're doing, let's see, like up front, if you have a ball joint, and the ball joint, if you have a ball joint and they have a grease fitting on it, you want to probably just put 1 or 2 pumps in there, because it's not supposed to pop out. If the ball joint pops out, let me show y'all what I'm talking about. So this right here is a ball joint, right here. But this ball joint, it have grease in there that it came with, and you can't refill it. So as long as this rubber piece is rubber or silicone, as long as it don't pop, the grease will always stay in there and be pretty good, and it lasts a long time. Now you don't put grease in this additional grease because it don't have a grease fitting. If it had a grease fitting, it'd probably been up top, like right here. All right, so if it do have a grease fitting, like for your vehicles, you'll want to put 1 or 2 pumps in it, and you'll see it air up. It'll start to get fat. You don't want to put too much, because if you pop it, you got to replace it, the whole ball joint. All right. All right, so back to the left rear side. All right, so after I got all the grease fittings, greased, I want to check the bolts, make sure they're all there. You know, sometimes some stuff come up missing, we just decide to walk away. So I want to check all the bolts, make sure they're tight, make sure they're there. I check my exhaust. The vehicle is still cold, so that's why I'm able to touch the exhaust. So I want to check it. I'll give it a little shake, make sure it's not rattling. Check the mounting bolts here, all the mounting bolts that you see for the exhaust. This is my left rear shock absorber, and as you can see, it have a rubber bushing in here also. So when it fully compress, when it fully compress, this piece don't damage the cylinder itself. You have this rubber bushing here that would cushion it from getting damaged. And as you can see, this one is damaged some. We've been doing some serious riding. It probably happened in Alaska area. Yeah. So that's what you're trying not to do. If you do a jump, it'll cause the cylinder, if all wheels leave the ground, the cylinder will fully extend like this is fully extended. And then as it impact the ground, it'll fully depress or compress and squish this air, cause it to damage. So that's how that got damaged. It's not, this is, it comes with this shock absorber. So as long as it ain't completely gone, it's still good to go. Okay. This side don't have a brake caliper. Only the back right have a brake caliper. Alright, so this side just rolls freely. It stops at the same time, but it just it didn't come with a brake caliper. And then you want to check your CV boots. These pieces right here. You want to check them, make sure they ain't popped. If it's popped, oops. If it's popped, you gotta get it replaced. Now, one of these cost, I would say probably about $80 or $90 for the assembly. For the assembly, it costs that amount. But what I do, instead of buying the whole assembly, because the shaft is, if this thing get popped right now, and you catch it early, as long as water don't get inside and dirt and stuff don't get inside the boot, you could get the replacement bushing. It'll come with the rubber piece. It should come with the clamps and some grease that you put in here. You have to take it all apart to do it, but that is about $20 or $30. So you're saving a lot of money if you disassemble it and replace the broken bushing, what do we call it, boot itself. All right, so I went ahead because I had one of them that was torn from Alaska, and I bought a whole assembly, but then I didn't have I needed an impact wrench to get the big bolt, the big nut in here off. So without the impact wrench, I was stuck. Then I decided to buy an impact wrench and get it done. I also got the bushing, these boots, just in case, so I could replace it if need be. I got the clamp, the bushing, and the small clamp, the big clamp, and the bushing. Yep. All right, so you want to check your rear differential. Make sure it don't have any leaks. As you can see, we have no leaks. If it is leaking, it'll be leaking from right here. That means the seal in here is bad. You just have to buy a seal and replace it. All right. Let's see what else we got on this side. And like I said, we'll check the tire pressures at the end when I get done lubing everything. This is your exhaust. This is your fuel tank. I check my reflectors, make sure they're on there good. All my fairing bolts are in there, and the little clips. Yep. All right, so we're about to move to the back right side to start lubing. All right, so we at the right rear side of the ATV. So just like the other side, if it's a grease point on that side, on this side, it'll be one on the other side in the same area. Okay, so I hit that point, this point right here, right there, and then right under here got one. Oh, where is it? Right here, right there got one. So this side got 3 of them, and as you can see, the brake line comes along here because this side got a brake caliper. I checked I eyeballed. I don't have the gauge to tell me how far along the brake pad is. So I just look at it and see that it's still good. You'll know when it's bad. Like in Alaska, I wasn't paying attention to it, and you see how they have this brass piece right here, and then the padding. Oh, where is it? Right here. The padding from the rotor to the brass piece, right here. That space in there is the pads itself, so that's what makes contact with the rotor to stop the vehicle. When we was riding and we used heavy braking, it burns it down much quicker. So the remaining part of the pad was, all the pad was gone. So the brass piece right here was rubbing against the rotor. For all brakes on the vehicle was gone. Yes, I took a look at it and I noticed that it was gone, and I ordered it. I ordered all those parts. I replaced all of them. They all came from Amazon. Got them from Amazon. Let me focus. Yep. So again, you want to check your CV boot. Make sure you don't have any tears on both sides. I think this is the one I replaced with this clamp right here. This is your breather tube for your differential right here. It runs all the way up. All the way up. And somewhere up in here it runs up to. A good way to know that this is busted is that since you have grease inside and you're rolling down the road, all of a sudden you'll start to see grease marks splashing. All hair will be full of grease splash all around. That's a good indication that one of your CV boots is busted. All right, so you want to make sure your rotor is stable. As you can see, where it's been sitting for a while, the brake pad been sitting right here. It kind of rusted out. I'll get a wire brush and hit that real quick. No big deal. As you roll down the road and you step on the brakes, it'll wipe that completely off. So yeah, once again, out with the old, in with the new grease. You could clean it up if you want to. I just leave it there. Normally the grease fittings have a cap that covers it so you don't get clogged and stuff. But the cap is such a pain in the ass to take off and then push back on. If it falls off, I don't even worry about it. All right, so you got the other side of your fuel tank right here. Your fuel cap comes down here and it goes in the fuel tank. You want to check your shock absorber. As you can see, we got the bushing. It's up to the top. See, there's a bushing. This should be a rectifier right here, how the battery get recharged. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. This is your trunk and the other side of your exhaust, where the exhaust comes out. Let's see what else we got over here. All right, that's about it for this side. Now we got one more side. We got the front right to do. Let me tell y'all that in here, the front side of the drive shaft have a grease fitting. Normally the back side would and the front side would have a grease fitting. If it don't, if you don't have one in the back, it might be in the front. If you don't have one in the front, it might be in the back. But normally it comes with grease fittings. And once again, out with the old, in with the new. If the grease fitting ain't lining up, all you got to do is turn your hub. You could use a cheetah ball or whatever to turn it, since it's so light. I could turn it by hand, and as you twist it, you'll see the shaft start turning. Okay. You line it up, you get your grease fitting pointing in the right direction, and start pumping it. All right, moving along. Okay, this is the last side, the front right side of the ATV. So I hit all the grease points. I got the far side, I got the top, I gotta do this side right here, and I got this side right here. So I'll do this side right quick because I missed that one. I already check all the shock absorber, make sure you twist it and shake it, make sure it ain't moving around and knocking on anything. Your spring, your little bushing in here, your bolts, your radiator on this side, you got your one of your other hoses and your clamps. Make sure the radiator is mounted correctly. Check this side of the fan. Your front differential, this side, make sure you don't have any leaks happening around the bottom. Make sure your CV boots ain't busted. Check your ball joints, make sure they ain't torn, top and bottom. Make sure none of your A-arms are broken. Make sure they ain't broken. And then you check your brake pads, brake caliper, make sure you don't have too much play in it. Oops, right here. The pads itself. And that's about it. I checked all my clips and stuff already. My headlight assembly for the right side. Alright, so what I'm gonna do next is get all the tires out, check the air pressure on them, and then mount them back on. Alright. Okay, so I got all the tires back on. I'm about to lower it down and then torque them down. All the tires are good. Some have a little bit of cuts in the tires, but it's still good in a must replace tire area. So all the tires are good. They all got 10 psi in them. The max psi for the back is 22. Yep, 22 psi is max for the back, and for the front is 24 max psi. So I put them all at 10. 10 is pretty firm. And when you're checking your gauge for your tire pressure, you want to use the tire pressure gauge that came with the four-wheeler. All right, don't use a regular one for the regular vehicle. These are all my tools that came with the four-wheeler. We got a couple wrenches. You got your screwdriver that disassembles. You got Phillips and flat. You got like a spanner wrench. That's for like a lug nut. Not a lug nut, but what's this for? I forgot what this is for, but it's like a socket type of, two sizes. You put probably this piece in, slide it in so you could turn it, torque stuff down. And then you got your pliers. And they all goes inside the trunk. Comes in this little bag. When I bought these here brand new, it came with all these. Alright, so now I'm about to lower it down and torque all the tires down. And then I'll check the oil and the other fluids.